So we don't like to read speaker bios here. The speakers are going to tell you lots about themselves, but we like to do our 3 fun facts. So 3 fun facts about Bruce. Number 1, he was born with a severely out of whack pinky arrangement. So that's your finger, right? Okay. Number 2, his first language is Japanese. His third is English. How ominous. I wonder if he'll share what number 2 is. And finally, 3, his first job was at a McDonald's because, of course, why not? Please welcome Bruce Chen.
Okay, how do I switch? So this goes forward and this goes backwards, right? Okay, cool. So, all right. Instead of wasting time on who I am one of you. See? This is a photo of me at Fuckup Nights 5 or 6 years ago. I have always been a part of this community. I've always been inspired by this community. I've always enjoyed working in spaces like this throughout most of my career. I've been an early stage startup guy. But all this is to say, everybody would always ask me, when are you going to start your own thing? So I saw a lot of entrepreneurs in the front row. And all of you are bigger than me because I didn't actually have the guts to start my own thing. I waited until somebody pushed me to be the CEO of their company. And I'll get to how that happened. Now, what the fuck happened? How does somebody become the CEO of their own company? Well, you work for a company that has 2 divisions. One of those divisions makes most of the money for the company. The other one is basically a pipe dream. It makes very little of the money, and it's just a dream, and you wait for the other part of the company to get sold to a bigger company. An exit, great, right? Well, something even greater arose from that, and that was called an opportunity for this guy, right? So I became CEO of the part of the company that was, not divested. So what I'm trying to say there is the original startup CEO, he chose me. He trusted me to keep his company name going. And honestly, even though the product was in its early days, there was a lot of potential. And even as I say it now, honestly, I still think the product has a lot of potential. But we're at Fuckup Nights, and here's the thing. The guy chose me. And along the way, there were a bunch of fuck-ups in the middle. All right? Let's just get to the chase. You never heard of my company. My company was called Coachasoft, and we tried to bring in a cloud-based learning platform to help enterprises go to the cloud. Basically learn more cloud skills so that they could manage their own cloud systems. See, it even sounds good when I say it, right? But the problem is there was so much that went wrong. We got to the first part. The first part that I failed at is, for every entrepreneur out there, if you fail at nothing, do not fail at this. Do not fail at paying your employees, okay? Do not fail to let ADP and RBC run your payroll correctly. I still remember this conversation to this day when payroll didn't run one Friday. I was 2 months into this job, and my main project manager on my only client at the time told me, fuck you, any number of fucking ridiculous, shitty things that they said to me because they didn't get paid, and they had to sell part of their RRSP in order to pay for all of their bills that morning. And then they told me they sold some of it at a loss. And honestly, by lunch, I was ready to puke. And you know what? you could be forgiven for just calling it a day there. But guess what? It got a lot worse because my entire development team was offshore. And if you're, all of you guys, at some point, you may do outsourced development, all right? Now, you may not know those people, you may not understand the humanity of what they go through if they're just a contractor, but if they're your real employee, like at 5 o'clock, I was getting texts from people in Sri Lanka who were up at like 2 a.m. their time saying like, I don't have money right now, there's a power outage, there's just a bunch of natural disasters going on, and you have to live with the guilt that you fucked up. You failed their livelihood. And yeah, that was a real welcome to being CEO moment in my first 3 months. So instead of quitting, I decided, you know what? What would these people do? I'm gonna be resilient. I'm gonna be innovative. I'm going to be humble. And I'm going to hire people who are better than me. I'm gonna hire people who know more than me, who have more experience than me, who can just make me somebody who's a figurehead, okay? And I decided the place to start with this was sales and in product. The first one was just me fucking up and not really setting expectations properly with the head sales guy. I was paying him way too much money to make no sales, and unfortunately this just really manifested in I had to fire him. So if you think about it, if you're in your real job and you screw up, somebody fires you, but I screwed up and I had to fire somebody else. How screwed up is that, right? The second one hurt infinitely more because this person had on paper just so much pedigree, so many skills that I just simply did not have. And I think all the entrepreneurs can relate that you can't do everything. And this person on paper could do everything that I could not do. So you have to imagine how hurtful it was when said person quit in 2 months and said, I can't do this, this isn't going anywhere, I don't believe in what you sold me. And yeah, that was way worse than the first two things. But forget all these things. These things happen at my company. What about something that you can take away? You can take away to your company, right? What did I learn that you can learn? First things first, all of you entrepreneurs here, some of you are going it alone. How many of you have investors, partners, co-founders, things like that? Okay. I'm willing to bet every single one of you did a better job of having those tough conversations up front with who does what, who's responsible for what, and whose strengths are what. Because my former co-founder was still around a lot of the time, and it made things super awkward. It caused the payroll issue, and ultimately was the root of a lot of my failures that I accept full responsibility for. And the second thing is the crux of why we're here. Whatever. Why is that not working? All right. Oh. Whatever. The second thing didn't build out. It's okay. Okay, let's just cut to the chase. There are some people who have started a company here. How many people out here, want to start a company someday? Okay. All right, so now we're talking here. Please don't be offended because I put, spoiler alert, you probably shouldn't start a company. That's just a fact because most people shouldn't start a company. If everybody started companies, our entire society would grind to a halt. But what am I getting at here? all of those crazy fuck ups, like screw ups that happened in the past for me, like you can have the most noble reason. You can be like, I want to start a company because I'm passionate about said cause. I'm passionate about this. But the reality is none of that is going to hold up in the face of, you know, your first customer calling you and telling you they regret signing with you. Investors turning you down, like going 0 for 100, your first employees walking out on you. Those things honestly hurt so fucking much that if you can't handle that, that's gonna overtake any passion, any idealistic cause that you have for wanting to start a company. And that's the mistake I made. I wanted to start a company because I was a part of this community, and I wanted to be honest, I wanted to be somebody, and I wanted to be somebody that created value, and I wanted to be somebody that, you know, the first time I spoke in front of this audience, I wanted to say like, hey, my call to action is please apply to any number of roles at my company. But that's not what happened, okay? What ended up happening, and the biggest mistake I made, or the biggest human mistake I made, is I just didn't have a very good grasp on who I was as a person, what drove me to want to do this in the first place, because I think I had some good reasons for doing it, which were aspirational, but yeah, I mean, ultimately I still failed people because I failed at knowing myself. I didn't know like what was the deeper why behind the why that I did this, other than the fact that I wanted to create something, that I wanted to be an achiever, that I wanted to come be a success story for the people that I've met throughout my journey, and you know, all the people I took for coffee, and all the people that in my early life said like, look, I don't think you're gonna make it, because everybody has those people, right? Yeah, so that was the negative reasons why I wanted to take this promotion, and looking back, I would tell myself like, look, you should probably think about that. But that being said, a lot of you said you wanted to start companies, and in no way is this trying to dissuade any of you from doing that. I think all of you should probably still start your companies. The only thing is, I don't know, I hope you learned something from what I said today. It's just like, because nobody has this conversation about what it means to screw something up or fail somebody. It's really easy to have the innovation story. It is really easy to have the conversation around like, yeah, I took a risk and I raised however many millions of dollars. Anybody can have that conversation. But it's really difficult to say like, yeah, I thought I had my CTO and they walked out on me in 2 months, right? And then the thing I failed about myself was I failed the people around me, even my personal life. Like, I have people in the back who've known me for like however long, and I don't think I've ever told them any of these problems because they're just so like, because when you're a founder or CEO or anything like that, it's like the loneliest thing ever. Like, even if you have founder friends or CEO friends, like they can't really relate to exactly what's going on. And I don't know, because this was in 2021, it made it really, really easy to not talk to people. So I just found myself shutting down a lot, you know what I mean? And I dealt with that in not very good ways, like, you know, illegally partying during COVID and just, you know, hanging out with people I shouldn't have been during lockdown and whatever. And it just, you know, anything other than getting to the root of the problem, which was that I didn't ask myself enough tough questions. But again, back to this, I would do this again. If I had to go back in time and tell myself something, it would be, you still have to try, because this whole community is built on people who are, willing to take a 5% chance, a 10% chance that it could work. And even as I open up about my failures and how I failed a bunch of people, maybe, just maybe, the biggest failure would have been not trying and giving them that chance at something greater that I clearly didn't accomplish. But I guess that's what I tell myself, and that's the price of risk, and that's the price of failure and possibly achieving something. So I hope everyone here can take away something from what I can said, or what I just did say, whether you want to start a company or not, whether you want to be anything or try anything that involves being selected or whatever. I used to not sleep super well when I was CEO at times, but I don't know, weirdly I sleep really well these days because I heard no like almost every week when I was CEO, or every day rather, but I get to live with myself knowing that I never said no to myself, right? I never said, hey, when this opportunity came along, I never said, no, you can't do this. So clearly there's a lot of people here who share that same sentiment. I'm proud of all of you. I guess I am one of you. I once was in one of, in your guys' shoes or seats or whatever. So I didn't get to everything. So with that said, where's the Q? Oh, there's the Q&A thing. But yeah, that's that.
Round of applause. Thank you so much, Bruce. That was awesome. It made me think, like, while it's true that most companies will fail, it's like that's good advice, but then also people want to tell you, like, start before you're ready, Yeah, that was definitely part of the Kool-Aid I drank, and looking back, it's not bad, okay? Like, if people never start anything, never gets done, but again, I just wish I knew, like, the broad consequences of what would happen if I didn't succeed. Like, everybody thinks, like, if you start a company and you don't succeed, the most embarrassing thing is telling your friends or your family that, your company has to shut down. It's not. The most embarrassing thing is when the people that you convince to be, whether it's your first customer, your first employee, like, if you start an enterprise software company and you convince somebody to hire your no-name company to do said problem for them, like, whoever that person is, if it doesn't work, they're getting fired. Okay? So again, you have to be able, that's just like one example of the guilt you have to live with. Like, if you make up, everybody loves talking about ship an MVP, ship it fast, move fast, break things. Again, that's just marketing. It's super easy to say that. It is so easy to say that. That's like a sexy thing to sell to VCs. Like, yeah, we're agile, we're so cool. Like, yeah, we did this, we did that. But like, just so you know, if that product doesn't work, it's not you that fails. The person who first bought that product, probably your second customer, will get fucking fired. Okay? The associate VC who took a chance on you is probably going to get yelled at by probably fired too by their general partner, because they're like, what the fuck? You bet on this like bullshit company that didn't actually have a product and it didn't work or whatever. I haven't even gotten into investor money, but I mean, that's yeah. But don't worry, they're just pre-revenue. That's all it is.
Exactly. Then we told ourselves that story for so long, but yeah, I don't think we're telling ourselves that anymore.
No. So we have some time for some questions. Sorry, I just hijacked question period.
Hello.
Do you have any questions for Bruce?
Hey, what's up?